Hey traders, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm giving you a special behind the scenes sneak peek. Look into one of our private daily question and answer video that I do for the members in my Pro Traders group. And in this session, I'm answering a super important question: how to manage your positions at opening bell. This is one of the trickiest parts of the entire trading day. And if you don't have a clear plan going into the first 5 to 10 minutes of the trading day, it's easy to get chopped up, caught off guard, or even take unnecessary losses. And this is normally content that I reserve only for the members of my private Discord group. But I wanted to share this content with all of you because I know so many traders struggle with opening bell. So let's jump into the actual training. And if you find this helpful, be sure and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. All right, sit back and I hope you enjoy this amazing training session. Hi guys, in today's video I want to talk about a question that I keep getting, and it has to do with, do you hold your position through the opening bell? And as you've seen, opening bell is crazy. And the reason it's crazy is there are people who are waiting to trade right at opening bell because that's the time that they can trade. Also, there's a backlog of trades that are waiting for their orders to be filled, which get filled right at opening bell. So a lot of times if you're waiting to enter a trade right at opening bell, your order may not fill because there's a lot of other orders in the queue right there. And sometimes it'll take a couple of minutes for that to clear. And that's why you see so much volatility at opening bell. But back to the main question is, do you hold your position if you already are in a position? Do you hold it through the opening bell? And, that's not a one-size-fits-all answer. It really depends on what has price action been doing during pre-market. It depends on where are the levels, what's support, and what is your position and your risk. Let's look at those stocks that we had worked with during pre-market this morning. And it is March 3rd, 2025. And we're looking at ACON. This was the first one that I had put on our list at 5 o'clock or 5:03 Mountain Time. So that was back here. Price had just made this new high for the morning, right? Made this, and so I marked that. If there's a pre-market high, you're going to have caution through that level. And the reason I say that is sometimes price will go past, but it's going to come back down. And if it can prove that level on the pullback after going past it, if it can prove it on the pullback, then you'll see continuation above this. But in this case, as you can see, it hit this next target and then it was done. If you had been in this trade back here in this area, it had hit this target and gone above, right? Came back down, fell below. Now we need to find support. And that's what it was doing back here on this previous level. And that's very, very typical price action. So you can expect that ping-pongy, which is exactly what it did, some sideways action, and then it'll take off. If you had got in when it proved support over here, I personally would have waited till we had some decent volume. That would have been this candle, and I would have used this line as my support. That reduces your risk. And then you're going to try to obviously take it to this level with caution, keeping an eye, monitoring these previous levels. And so what I do when I have something like this, it's like a mini gap fill. And so when I get in, initially this is my stop loss, this white line, right? I teach you that. And as price moves up, then I move my stop loss up to the next area that makes sense over here, right? This is a nice flat zone. That's going to be a support and resistance area over here, right? In fact, I'm going to draw a little level so I don't have to keep using my cursor. That's what I'm talking about, this flat level right there. So once it hits the next, this becomes your new stop loss, okay? First it's this, then once price gets established above that and hits the next target, then it becomes this level as your stop loss. So now you're in the profit, right? So once it gets above here, that becomes your stop loss. But again, opening bell is scary. So if you were in this trade at opening bell, you could take profits at this, because like I said in one of my earlier videos, I think it was the last video I did, a lot of times I see price reject at that pre-market high. So that's why I like you guys to get in the habit of marking that. But we were fortunate enough to see it hit this $7.90 target. It was done. If price does get above this pre-market high, that's going to be a level it's going to need to prove for continuation. Well, it wasn't going to give us even that opportunity at all, because it couldn't even hold this level down here, which would have been a stop loss if you were staying in beyond this. That's how you need to treat this type of price action. When you've made a high and price starts to sell down to a previous level, like here's a target it hit, now it's going to come down here and need to hold this level as support, or at least find, if it sold below it, it needs to find it. Usually you can expect that ping-pongy price action, and that's what we were seeing here. As long as it kind of at least ping-pongs around, it goes up and down, then you're possibly going to see it retest that pre-market high and maybe get to the next target. In that case, that's what I'm looking for. Let's look at TRNR. That was another one on our list, and it's been on our list for, I don't know, what, a week now? The problem I have with this one, as you guys know, is we had some critical levels here. Price has been stuck in this channel, and I expect this channel, well, now it's really selling down, but this is the channel, $3.10 to what, $3.40. That it needs to prove this 340 as support in order for it to even think about 430. It did hit this $3.90 target, but it never proved this 340 as support. If it keeps hitting the scanner, whatever, but just know that it needs to prove this critical level here, 340. Whenever I make them thick, and whenever I tell you guys this is a critical level, you should make them thick on your chart so that it's easy to see. For continuation, we absolutely need it to prove this level for continuation, and then it'll go to the next. The reason I give you these critical levels is that means absolutely 100% for continuation, it has to prove this critical level for continuation. Doesn't mean it's going to go there today. It just means for continuation, you have to see a setup above that. Okay, I just don't see much worth looking at on this one, and it's selling down, so it's done for now. And Holo, this is a good one to look at. I hated the price point, and it's a Chinese stock. When you see it push hard like that through several levels, it's going to have to prove these levels, and ideally this level, to get to here. There's no arrows above this level. There's just no setup, right? So this one, it wouldn't make sense to hold through opening bell or even trade after opening bell. That's just a kind of a quick down and dirty based on the examples that we had to work with today. BTAI, let's just talk about that one really quickly. I was able to get in on this one pretty quickly, and we had some halts, but price action was pretty easy to read with this one. And if you missed that initial move, it gave us a really nice one over here. Volume was descending, became very low, very, very low. And then the buyers stepped in, overwhelmed the sellers, right? We've talked a lot about that lately. So this would have been a good entry to take it to this critical level. And now once it's here, it has to set up above that. It may retest it like it did. It retested it a couple of times. Here and over here, it was showing, hey, we can't set up above this level. This was a critical level that I gave you guys. This is another critical level. So it's going to be similar to TRNR. If it does get in here in this little range, it'll chop for a while. But this one gave us some opportunities. But that's why I say when I mention critical levels, mark those a little thicker on your chart, because that tells you, hey, it doesn't mean price will get there today, but if it does, for continuation, it's going to have to prove this level as new support for continuation. And since you have this level in here, that's going to be another level it's going to have to prove after. So anyway, that's all I have for you in this video. And I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk soon.